I swear, the road I was on shouldn't even exist. It started as a normal road trip. I was driving late at night, the GPS showing nothing but a straight stretch of highway disappearing into dense forest on both sides. The fuel light blinked, and the storm clouds above didn't help. Then I saw it, a hotel. Not a motel, not an inn, a real, towering, old-fashioned hotel with dimly lit windows, a flickering neon sign that said, The Hollow Pines Hotel. Strange, I thought, because my GPS showed no towns for miles. Yet, there it was. The moment I parked, a shiver ran down my spine. The place was oddly quiet. Not a soul in sight, and yet the lobby was immaculate, marble floors, polished wood, and chandeliers casting warm, golden light. A bellhop appeared as if summoned by my nervous energy. "Welcome," he said. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Room 217 is ready." Why I stayed, I rationalized it. I was tired, hungry, and it was pouring rain. The lobby had a fireplace, and a faint smell of fresh pastries drifted from the dining area. No reviews online, no reservations required, just me, a receptionist with unnerving calm, and a hotel that didn't exist. I was already regretting not taking a picture, but my phone had no signal. Odd, I thought, but shrugged it off. Room 217. The elevator doors opened to reveal a corridor that seemed longer than the hotel's actual size. My room was normal at first glance, king-sized bed, antique furniture, ornate wallpaper, but something felt off. The mirror reflected more than just me. Shadows seemed to twitch in the corners. I laughed nervously, blaming exhaustion. I locked the door, sat on the bed, and tried to convince myself that it was all in my head. But when I tried to step outside for a breath of fresh air, the door wouldn't budge. Not a push, not a pull. Just an unyielding barrier, like the hotel itself had swallowed the exit. Part 2. The rules I never saw coming. That night, I heard whispers, soft, almost human. I followed them to the hallway, but there was nobody there. The bellhop appeared again, silently handing me a folded piece of paper. "Read. Obey. Don't leave," it said in elegant, almost calligraphic handwriting. Panic clawed at my chest. I tried calling 911. No signal. Tried opening the windows. Locked. Tried breaking the door. Couldn't. The rules weren't just instructions, they were warnings. Never speak of leaving. Never take the elevator alone. Never acknowledge the shadows. I didn't understand them, but something in the air, thick, heavy, almost alive, made me obey. The first night the shadows moved. At first, I thought it was my imagination. A shadow stretched across the floor like fingers, then vanished when I blinked. I heard footsteps pacing outside my room, but no one appeared when I opened the door. Sleep came in fits, nightmares of endless hallways and doors that led nowhere. Each dream felt more real than the last. I woke drenched in sweat, convinced the hotel was alive. Part 3. The lobby that changes. The next morning, or what I assumed was morning, the lobby was different. The pastries were gone, replaced by a silent, cold reception desk. The bellhop's smile was gone, replaced by a blank stare. Other guests appeared. They didn't speak, didn't move, just sat in chairs with eyes hollow like mine. I realized something terrifying: the hotel was populated, but not with humans. Not entirely. The hallways shift. I tried to find an exit again. Every hallway twisted, turned, and expanded unnaturally. Rooms I had seen the night before were now gone, replaced with endless walls. My phone still had no signal. Voices whispered my name. My reflection in mirrors was delayed, my movements weren't mirrored in real time. I ran, trying doors at random. Some opened into pitch-black voids, others led me back to room 217. I understood then, the hotel wasn't just a building. It was a trap. Part 4. the guests who aren't. I found a lounge with guests who finally acknowledged me. "You've just arrived," said a man with a face too smooth, like wax. "No one leaves." "What do you mean? This isn't real." "There's a road, they erased it," another voice said. "GPS, maps, memories. It doesn't exist outside. You won't exist outside if you try to leave." Fear settled in my bones. I was alone in a world that wasn't real, but somehow, still breathing. The first night was a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The shadows in room 217 seemed alive, crawling along the walls, stretching toward me in impossible angles. Every time I turned my head, they vanished, but the feeling of being watched never left. Then came the soft, almost human whispers. At first, I thought I imagined them. They didn't call my name, not directly. Just words, garbled, urgent, coming from the hallway outside my room. My heart hammered as I approached the door. The bellhop appeared suddenly, standing silently by the corridor. His presence was unnerving. He didn't move like a human, almost gliding, his shoes making no sound. He handed me a folded piece of paper without a word. "Read. Obey. Don't leave." The handwriting was beautiful, looping, elegant, but the message made my blood run cold. The rules. I opened the paper fully and saw a list of instructions. Never speak of leaving. Never take the elevator alone. Never acknowledge the shadows. Never open a door marked in red. Always return to your room before midnight. I laughed nervously. It's just a game, right? A weird prank? But something in the air made me obey. The room felt heavier now, as if the walls themselves were watching, listening. Attempting to leave, I tried to test the first rule. I whispered to myself, "I want to leave." The paper on my desk lifted slightly, as if a hand had brushed it. The shadows around the room twisted faster, forming jagged shapes against the walls. I froze. The door to my room, the same door I had been unable to open before, remained locked. No matter how hard I pushed, no matter how I tried twisting the knob, it wouldn't budge. It was as if the hotel itself had swallowed the exit. The first night of fear, I tried to sleep, hoping exhaustion would save me from the growing terror. But the whispers returned, louder this time, circling my room. I swore I saw the shadows forming shapes, human figures, leaning over me from the ceiling, stretching along the walls, reaching for me in silent mockery. Every creak in the floor, every flicker of light from the hallway, made my heart leap. The hotel seemed to pulse, breathing slowly, with me trapped inside. I realized something then: this hotel was alive, and it didn't want me to leave. Breakfast, or something like it, morning, or what I assumed was morning, brought no relief. I walked to the lobby, hoping the sun or fresh air would help. But the lobby had changed. The warm light and pastries were gone. The desk was cold, empty, except for the bellhop, now staring at me without expression. Other guests were there, sitting silently. Their faces were pale, blank, as though life had been drained from them. When I spoke, asking where the exit was, no one replied. Not even the bellhop. A chill ran down my spine. I realized the hotel didn't just trap people, it erased their will, their voice, their identity. Hallways that shouldn't exist. Desperate, I tried to find another way out. But the hallways were no longer familiar. Rooms I had seen the night before were gone. Doors led to pitch-black voids, walls stretched unnaturally, and mirrors reflected impossible angles of the corridor. I turned a corner and suddenly, I was back at room 217. My own room had betrayed me. I understood then: the hotel didn't just trap bodies. It trapped minds. That I thought the morning would bring relief. I thought maybe sleep and daylight would make the hotel feel normal. But when I stepped into the lobby, my stomach dropped. It wasn't the same lobby. The warm glow of chandeliers was gone. The scent of pastries replaced by a cold, metallic smell that made my throat tighten. The polished marble floors were now dull, almost gray, with faint streaks of something dark that I couldn't identify. The bellhop was there, always there, but his warm smile had vanished. Now, his eyes were empty, glassy, staring right through me. He didn't speak. He didn't move, but I felt him watching my every step. Other guests appear. That's when I noticed them. People, well, they looked like people, sitting silently in the chairs around the lobby. Some read newspapers, some stared at the walls, but no one spoke, no one moved naturally. Their faces were blank, like wax masks. I tried to talk to one. "Excuse me, do you know how to leave?" I asked. The person looked at me, their eyes hollow. Then their head tilted slightly, just a fraction of a second, but it was enough to make my skin crawl. I backed away. Something about them was wrong. Not human. Not fully. Hallways that shift. I needed to get out of the lobby. I ran to the nearest hallway, hoping for an exit, hoping for stairs, anything. The hallway twisted as I walked. Doors I had seen yesterday were gone. Mirrors reflected corridors that didn't exist behind me. My footsteps echoed, but sometimes they didn't echo at all, like the hotel was swallowing sound. I tried opening doors at random. One opened into a void of pitch-black darkness. Another led me right back to the lobby, as if the hotel itself had a sense of humor. I realized, the building was alive. And it was playing with me. Voices in the walls that night. I tried to sleep again. But sleep didn't come. The walls whispered now, not soft whispers like before, but angry murmurs, urgent voices that I couldn't understand yet somehow knew my deepest fears. They called my name. They told me secrets I didn't know I knew. They laughed when I panicked. Every time I closed my eyes, the shadows moved faster, twisting into shapes I couldn't name. I saw fleeting glimpses of other guests in rooms across the hall, silent, staring, their mouths moving as if speaking in a language only the hotel understood. The terrifying realization it hit me slowly, like ice crawling up my spine. This hotel didn't just trap people. It changed them. Everyone here, every guest I had seen, had been here before me. Some were trapped for days. Weeks. Months. Years. And they were no longer themselves. I wasn't just a visitor. I was prey. The bellhop's blank stare followed me as I returned to my room. And I knew, with chilling certainty, that tonight would be worse.